Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of your Impact Attack. Yes, it is your Impact Attack, and we've got a double stuffed edition here for you on channelattitude.com and live right now, still in the 4th of July. And you can hear the fireworks probably in the background. They're not going as crazy as they were just a few seconds ago. It kind of sounds like gunshots. So if the vet has to leave, if he gets called for duty in the middle of the show, he might have to leave, ladies and gentlemen. It is apparently a war zone in the state in which the vet resides. I don't know if that's public knowledge. I think it is, but I don't really know if it is or not, vet.
They know.
But I haven't introduced you yet, so don't talk. Just comment. All right, well, let me start this. Guys, welcome to the Impact Attack on channelattitude.com. And I am here each and every week with the 12-time firework lighting champion, the vet, ladies and gentlemen. He's a Rip Rogers guy. Vet. Let him know how it's going today, vet.
Oh, it's going great. If you can't hear that block party that's going on right outside my window, I'm certain you surely will at some point. Somebody's going to hit like one of those old, like you know how they don't just celebrate 4th of July on 4th of July. It's like an entire week of people just exploding ordnance in the streets.
And it's an weekend as well too. So
yesterday I heard just the loudest explosion. I thought there was like a train robbery going on, like someone had stuck the dynamite in the trestle and they went to their little plunger and with the little sign that says TNT on it and kadoom. But no, it was just some idiot exploding stuff in the street for no reason, not even 4th of July.
they got
So that's what I'm dealing with. How about you guys? I mean, one of you guys and the other one hasn't been introduced yet.
Well, yes, that's right. That's right. We do have a third man in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. Let me find his intro music, because the vet gets intro music on another show. So we deprive him of intro music, but we give our third man in the booth here his own intro. He gets an intro even on other shows. It's so special. The man with I think your camera's starting to get a little haze to it. I was gonna say he's got the clearest camera in the world, but I think that, am I wrong? Is the haze coming back? Is it my glaucoma?
It's hard to tell we'll need to do a time lapse with all the video archived Impact Attacks, but
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's our third man in the booth, third woman. Whoa, that is not supposed to go there. Well, not that show. It's Brandon, ladies and gentlemen. They tell it to
What up? Happy 4th. Hope you still have all your fingers like I do.
Yep. Well, we're not alone, ladies and gentlemen. We have some people in the chat. And as we listen to the patriotic sounds of California being blown up, we'll have the vet lead us.
Oh.
And who we have in the chat here. Well, I can do it, vet. You just have to say something nice about each person that we comment on in the chat.
Absolutely not. I'll just read the names.
Okay,
then
then we'll say something nice about them.
Well, it's not a stretch to say anything nice about Buckshot Kid. He is a loyal supporter of HMG and, seemingly me personally. See him a lot. So Buckshot Kid is here. Canada Spaceman, also very loyal. He's here. And we got, you can say this one, Colin.
Which one's that?
I think you know.
Do you mean Javi Uchiha?
Yeah, that's who I meant. And we also got Labrat, Okay, they're testing fireworks on Lab
They're
Rat.
testing. Wow. Oh my gosh. I hope he has all his fingers.
Yeah, here, hold
when it
this.
says
Hold this
that.
in your little paw, and see if
They're
it's
testing
safe.
finger blowing up proof fireworks
Yeah.
with lab rat. That's what they're testing.
Ooh, I got a better one. Hang on.
Okay. And
Like Homer Simpson.
yeah, it's the Homer Simpson meme.
It's my wall.
And then we also have Lisbeth here, as you can see from that comment. And that's what Google says is here right now. A tight knit group, an all-star lineup, if you will.
Did you learn that? Or actually, I learned it. Did you know that you actually have to comment to show up in the chat thing for us to know that you're there? So you have to have commented recently.
That's not true.
No,
That's
it
not
is true. It's
no, it absolutely is not
it
true
doesn't
because
take you out of the chat if you're not there and you're idle for a while and you don't comment or anything like that. It shows you the whole time because I've heard from other YouTubers that that's a thing.
well, maybe it has to do with the frequency, but I mean that's how I know who doesn't show up in the list of participants because I scroll back in the chat and see their comments. So it can't just be, it can't just be the comment thing.
Actually, this mic is kicked off. I don't know.
What?
That's actually mic is kicked off. I don't know.
Oh, what was it?
Fireworks inserted into places.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that they could be doing that too. Yeah, are they inserting things into you, lab rat? You let us know. Wink once if they're inserting things into you. Wink twice if you're safe.
It's
That's how we
probably
get you.
it's probably just sparklers. It's probably just giving him sparklers and saying, "Are these gonna burn anybody?" No. Okay. How about these?
That emoji kind of looks like a rat's butthole with a firework going into it. So, oh gosh, I hope you're safe, lab rat. If we don't see you next week, then we know. We know what happened.
All right. Buckshot Kid wants us to talk about the Will Ospreay video. Have you seen the Will Ospreay video?
Is that the one where he's like forearming the kid in the back of the neck,
Mm-hmm.
like a crazy person?
Yeah.
I mean, I did see it, I guess, but I don't really have an opinion on it. I just thought it was like a work thing. Like he's trying to look tough because he's known as Mr. Choreograph flippy shit.
Yeah, Will Ospreay has sort of changed up his overall style and demeanor in the past, however many years, 2, 3. I kind of lost track, but he still likes to do plenty of athletic things. But he's after breaking his fucking neck, he kind of figured like, well, maybe just a little bit of a harder edge style and not so much the flying and landing on body parts style. So there's this video going around that you may have seen of this is probably in like one of the Rev Pro, like over in the England over there, their promotion over there, which I believe he's the champion of. And he's got the kid, and he hits the kid with the hidden blade, which is a elbow to the back of the head. It looks really cool, but it's a total work. And then he lays some forearms into the back of the kid, like as he's on the mat, and the referee like kind of pulls him off or whatever. So the forearms look good, but I don't think. Okay, Javi says it sounds like Gettysburg back there. Yeah, you can hear that. It's right outside my window, like it's right facing my window's right facing the street. And I'm sure I've got neighbors that are just like,
4-7 kickouts ago.
right.
We're talking about the first match. Oh wait, there wasn't even. Oh, we'll get to that.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. We're still talking about Will Ospreay.
Yeah, just talking about Will Ospreay. So I don't know. He's stiffed the kid for sure, but I'm sure it was fine.
It looked very planned and choreographed, in my opinion.
It was definitely planned.
Yeah.
I mean, you can plan to hit somebody as hard as you can in the neck, but I don't know what the context of this whole thing was. This kid looks just like some skinny kid. Like he shouldn't even. How did this guy even have a match with Will Ospreay? He shouldn't even be in the ring with Will Ospreay. This is like is this a Make-A-Wish deal? I don't know. I don't watch any of the. I don't watch any of the Rev Pro stuff. I don't like English wrestling. In general, not in general, it's okay. But I mean, I don't like any of the promotions or the people they have, so it's hard to get excited about it.
Ay, cabrón. Oh.
No, that's the Mexican promotions. But so yeah. Any other thoughts? Did you see it, Brandon? Did you see this little clip? This little viral clip?
First I'm hearing about it.
All right.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, while he's looking for that,
Oh, let me find it on Twitter.
what else has been going on out there in the world?
Anything? Anything? Anything, Brandon? Bueller.
Yeah. The world's just been the world.
Let's see.
All right, I found it.
Yeah, this can transition right into
Oh, hang on. Crap, I fucked up.
a
I gotta pause
UFC
it
conversation
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
where we can
about
talk
the UFC.
where we can talk about works.
I forgot about the UFC. Hey, you stay quiet about works.
Oh, I don't think you'll disagree with me when you hear what I have to say.
Right,
Well, I
can
sure
you-
wish I. Okay, here's the clip. Here you go, son. Nice hidden blade. Bam. And then there you go.
So what is it about Will Ospreay that like turns people off? Like, why is he not big here in America, and like, why has he not come over and like done a bunch of things and all these promotions? Why is he pretty much just UK based and Japanese based?
I'm not sure. I can tell you what I don't like about Will Ospreay is his face. He has a big nose, and his hair looks like roadkill. Looks like someone ran over an animal and put it on his head. But I would assume he's doing that to get heat. Like he has a stupid haircut so that he gets heel heat. He can't like walking around like that. There's no way. So I assume that's part of the character. So I don't really hold that against him. But no, I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't. I guess. That's a good question. You know, I never really thought about it.
Brandon.
I don't know if.
Oh, go ahead, Vet. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't know if anybody's ever, like reached out to him or tried to sign him or something, and he's just not interested. But
I just wonder if it was some of the hadn't he had like accusations and other like kind of like he's had some tainted past history stuff, hasn't he?
I remember he got not really
Like
named
name
as-
dropped and stuff like that for
He was-
stuff, but not
he
really
wasn't-
anything stuff.
He wasn't an abuser, but an enabler of abusers is what he's got named for.
I got you. Yeah, it was something like that.
right, which in
right.
these days could mean just mean like not snitching on people that you know. That's enabling, right? So yeah,
Being
okay.
in they were in the room or they were there when it happened. Brandon, Buckshot Kid wants to know: have you smoked any good weed lately?
Yes, picked up some face mints today.
Face mints. Does it get you ripped to the face and it's minty?
It does.
Your face looks very minty right now.
That's a
Is it-
computer screen, Colin.
Is it? No, I think it's the weed too. But is it the weed, Brandon? You can look. Hang on. Look, let me. I'll pause the show, and it's just gonna be me, you, and the vet. You can be honest. Hang on 1 second. All right, the show's paused. It's just us. Are you on face mints right now?
It's been 3 hours.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. It's okay. It's okay. Vet's on fireworks right now. He's jacked. The fans don't know that. Look at that man's trapezius muscles.
Is fireworks also the same kind of advice you get like in Florida?
Yes. Okay, let me start the show again. Hang on. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Lab
So
Rat
speaking
wants
of-
you to send him some weed.
All right, this
No, no one said Andre Chase. All right, bet. Let's get to your UFC.
Let's talk about your UFC on your Impact Attack. So speaking of works, I was saying this, I think, in one of my stream chats or something. It's like, can we just kick Pedro Munoz out of the UFC? Like, there's no place for somebody that's gonna fake getting poked in the eye to not fight Sean O'Malley. Like, this kid, first of all they do is line up tomato cans to fight this guy. So I don't even know if he can really fight. And secondly, this guy, when they show the replays like multiple times of how like the supposed eye poke happens and all of the, like, every finger is vertical and then maybe one brushes his eyelash or something and then he has to get a doctor stoppage for eye poke. I think it's time you just retire at that point. I don't think fighting's for you. I don't know how you got ranked number 9. Did you get your opponents disqualified or something? Like the entire climb up to the top 10? Maybe you can answer this, Colin, but
hey, I'm gonna pull up his record because I think he's actually beaten some pretty good guys recently to get to where he's at.
it just seemed very bizarre.
Oh no, okay, so he lost to Dominic Cruz by unanimous decision, and I think if you go back and watch that fight, you might actually say Pedro might have won that fight. He lost to Jose Aldo. Probably in another one of those fights, if you watched it, you could be like, Jimmy Rivera, he beat Jimmy Rivera. And
well, more to the point,
he lost to Frankie Edgar and Aljamain Sterling.
More to the point, what do you think about the situation and how he did not get poked in the eye and quit?
I didn't see the fight, so I can't really comment on it.
Oh. Did you see any fights?
I saw the last 2 fights. I saw more of the main event, but I didn't see the first. Like, I saw the last 2 fights, last 2 or 3 fights.
Okay, so
I saw Izzy, and I saw the other title fight.
So you saw Volkanovski open up a fucking vagina on Max Holloway's eyebrow.
Yeah.
My God, don't anybody ever say that Max Holloway's not tough.
That's not as bad as the one that BJ Penn did to Diego Sanchez, though. Have you ever seen that one?
Maybe. But we're not talking about BJ Penn and Diego Sanchez. In fact, no one will ever talk about BJ Penn again because he's finished. He's washed up.
Dare you?
You know he is. You probably said it before. But yeah.
He is totally washed up, but I think he'll be back. Let me find.
Good. Maybe he can fight Pedro Munoz. All right. Well, anyway, while the show is dying, while you're looking up clips of stuff that no one asked to see,
I'm showing you.
Would you like to add any insight to the fight of Max Holloway and?
I mean, he got his ass kicked. He didn't even show up. Volkanovski went out there and kicked his ass for 5 rounds.
Well, it's not that he didn't show up.
Look at that.
Look
at that vagina on that dude's head.
Yeah, but that is gross, but that is way, way above. That's up in the forehead.
So
Max Holloway's
literally on the
eyebrow was
split the fuck
open down the eyebrow, bleeding into his eye the whole time, and he still was.
That's Diego too. Ugh.
He still was pushing the pace on that fight and walking forward and walking Volkanovski down, but Volkanovski just had better hands, I guess.
Dude, his hands are so sick and he's so fast. It's crazy, like the condition and shape that Volkanovski's in, and for this guy to have been at like over 200 pounds at one point in time, and he's shorter than most of the guys he's beating up, and this dude was walking around at 200 and some pounds, right? Like a little Taz. And now he's fighting at 140. Do you think Taz could ever get down to 145? Not now,
no,
but maybe back then in the day. You think?
No.
I remember Ray looking jacked at like 180 for his size.
Yeah. So the guy, I mean, the next challenges for Volk, I gotta be 155. Like, he's cleaned out the division. There's not really anybody at featherweight that could possibly fight him. So let him move up to 155, and you know, let's get the champion. If Oliveira wins, but let's do the title fight. You know, like, let's see what Volkanovski can do. can go in there. He'll probably get choked the fuck out because Oliveira's good like that. But
Well, speaking of weights, Jared Cannonier. Now, look, I've never been impressed with Jared Cannonier as a fighter. He just seems like a guy that's just a level below the level below. But he got a title shot, so whatever. But the more intriguing thing about him was look at him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at his physique, and then look at his stats. He's 5'11", and he's 183 or 4, something like
he's
that.
fought at heavyweight,
right?
As well.
A guy that looks like that, 185. Now, we've had a lot of conversations in the recent wrestling circles about Adam Cole with the body shaming and everything. Adam Cole likes to bill himself as 6 feet and 210. And you stand him next to Jared Cannonier, and you tell me, who weighs what? That's funny to me.
Let's hope Adam Page doesn't hear that. He might cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Adam Page is fine. I'm talking about Adam Cole.
Baby.
Yeah, Adam Page is all right, but he's probably lying about everybody lies about their height and weight. Like, we know that in wrestling. But when you've got guys at UFC who are just, they have to say the correct height and weight, I think you got to move on from the old days of assuming that nobody knows how tall a person is or how much a person weighs anymore, and just tell the truth. Or just don't say it. Like, if you're too embarrassed to say that you weigh 160 pounds, if you're Finn Balor or whatever, then just don't announce the weight. But don't lie. They fucked up so bad on SmackDown one night because they put a tail of the tape up for like Ricochet and Walter in their Intercontinental Championship match. They did a tail of the tape, okay? And they put Ricochet's weight on the tail of the tape at like 187 or like 180, whatever it was 180 something, right, as his weight, which is probably still not necessarily accurate. Let's just say it was 183. When the ring announcer did the ring announcing, she said 207 pounds. So yeah, oops. But anyway, yeah, any thoughts on the boring main event? We knew it was going to be boring, right? Like,
yeah, I thought that Cannonier might have had a chance because he's a little bit of a stronger guy, kind of like Jan. Like, because you know how Jan kind of put it on him, like a guy with power that could reach him, but he fought. Like I don't know if Izzy went out there after seeing what Alex Pereira did, knowing that Alex Pereira and him are like kind of like that's the next feud, they're rivals. And he kind of went out there and wanted to showcase and put it on him because he just went out there and just kickboxed him for a good 5 rounds and just point fought him and didn't really ever have Cannonier in any real trouble the whole fight. You know, I figured Cannonier might have tried to wrestle him a little bit more.
Yeah, I was going to ask, doesn't Cannonier wrestle?
I figured he tried to grapple him and tighten him up and I don't know if he's more of a dirty.
He started when it was too late.
But yeah, he started like in the 4th and 5th round, and it was already too late by that time. If you're gonna tire a guy out, you need to be doing it from the first round and be kind of putting those like it's like chipping away. You want to just be chipping away because it's tiresome yourself getting up and down off the mat, but it's also tiresome for the other person to keep fighting you off and trying to get up and down off the mat, you know. So he could tire him out. He could blow himself up too. Because again, if you're jacked like that, Vet, you and I both know. Well, the 3 of us know you need a lot of oxygen to get in those muscles. So you know, Cannonier probably he's got to be in tip-top shape in terms of his gas tank to be able to go 5 rounds and wrestle for a lot of those 5 rounds. You know, if that's something that he was looking to do. Because I don't think Izzy's ground game's really been tested. I don't think there's really been anybody that's come at Izzy and tried to take him down. And if Alex Pereira is the next guy, that's going to be a kickboxing fight. You know, those guys are going to kickbox, and we're going to see probably what we've seen before from them. You know, there might be a little grappling and stuff like that. You know, if Izzy starts to get hurt or if Alex starts to get hurt, you might see it. But I think, for the most part, we might see Izzy get knocked out. We might see a new champ. Because that left hand that Alex Pereira put Sean Strickland out with, it's the same one that he put Izzy out with 8-ounce gloves on. And they're wearing 4-ounce gloves.
Well, we'll see. But, I mean, he is the style bender, so he might do some wrestling bending.
He came out like the Taker. He's the Taker bender.
Yeah. I didn't even watch that entrance. I was skipping it. And
You
then
might
I
like
went. I heard afterwards. So now I'm gonna have to go back and watch
Well,
the entrance.
it was
again,
it was a star-studded UFC vet. Shortly before the co-main event, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, Pat McAfee,
right,
and Nick Khan
right.
all showed up, and Vince McMahon was on one end. Nick Khan was sitting beside Pat McAfee. So I don't know if that could be like how people were sitting. If you could take that into to things like that, but it was
probably don't.
But it was the perfect shot, Vet, because like when the Izzy fight was about to start, the like literally over Izzy's shoulder was fucking like Nick Khan. Like you just saw Izzy and Nick Khan's fucking face. So like they had to have had that plan to have them sitting there like cage side where you could see them in the shot, because apparently Tony Khan and JR were there. They didn't have as good as seats. I don't know if they were on the broadcast. I think some people said they were there, but I didn't see them on the broadcast if they showed.
Well, somebody got a picture. I'm sure they weren't. I'm sure they didn't just. They didn't get it from the venue. I'm sure they got it from a shot on TV. But I don't know. I didn't see any of those. I just saw Mel Gibson. That's it. Well, that's enough UFC talk. What do you say we talk about some?
Did you want to talk about the greatest sports entertainer getting signed by the WWE? Vet?
Logan Paul?
Yeah. What do you think about the Pauls getting, Logan coming in?
The thing
It's a mainstream crossover.
Well, let's get Brandon's thoughts first, because he hasn't said anything for a while.
He never says anything. It's okay.
Let's change it.
It has potential. I mean, when he was at WrestleMania, he showed there's something there, and if they handle it correctly and cultivate it the right way, and he pays his dues and shows respect to the business, there's definitely something there. I think I can see some potential. Like they're clearly pairing him up with the Miz, and I think there's something they could do there where they could basically have Miz kind of be the pun intended, kind of the vet, and put Logan Paul through what he went through, and like have something go down where he kicks Logan Paul out of the locker room and he has to eat shit to earn his way back in.
I kind of like that idea. Before you go, Vet, I like that idea of pairing him up, like you said, with the Miz. I mean, it seems obvious that's what they're gonna do, but a guy like the Miz who didn't come from that wrestling background to kind of help break, Logan into the business as a guy who didn't come from that wrestling background per se, and kind of like, hey, because the guys in the locker room are probably going to treat him just as differently, And some of them might, though. Some of them might not, because they're kind of younger now. They might have grown up watching his videos and things like that. But you might still have some of those guys in there that kind of treat him like the Miz was treated. So you could see him trying to guide him in those waters of it.
Well, the funny thing to me is, why would Logan Paul sign a contract to be a wrestler full time? It just doesn't seem like something that's necessary for him. Like, why wouldn't he just continue to do as many or as few guest spots as he wants to do?
Crypto's down like 40-50%, and I'm sure he's got a lot of crypto. So he's got this is like so Brandon will get this joke, but there's a meme in the crypto sphere where it's like, now you got to go work at McDonald's because your crypto is now less. So instead of him, like, this is him working at McDonald's, working at WWE. Like, he's such a crypto bro, he lost money that he's got to go be a wage cuck, and now he's got to go be a wagey at the WWE.
Okay,
he can't make it anymore.
Once again, though, signing a contract, it's very weird. We've seen what happens to people that sign contracts to work at the WWE, especially with, how does this affect the old third-party income revenues?
Yeah, that's true. Does this affect?
That's where this guy's entire existence comes from. Are they going to be like, yeah, you can't do your 23 million subscriber YouTube channel anymore, Logan Paul?
On that one.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't get that aspect of it. I would have to hear from him, which I'm not going to go look for stuff that Logan Paul says. Are you kidding? And I'm not going to, but I would want to know, like, where did he feel like he needed to sign a contract? Or is this just one of those, like, the big, here, we're giving you the key to the city. Like, it's a ceremonial contract. Like, it's not like he's not really going to be. All right,
You're
Logan
an
Paul.
honorary member.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing a house show in Grass Lake, Iowa, because you're a WWE roster now. You know, like I just don't see him getting put through the paces of like the rental cars and all that shit that everybody else has to do. I don't see wanting to do it, and I don't see having to do it. Wouldn't even ask him to do it. So maybe it's a ceremonial contract. Maybe it's not that he's just gonna be like one of these grunt, everyday wrestlers. But just the signing, it's like, well, sure, why not? Why wouldn't you? It does seem a little desperate, but why not? There's interest there, and like Brandon said, there's some. We saw a spark of something at WrestleMania. He seemed more, what's the word? Adept at this sort of thing than a lot of people have. So he's definitely more imposing than a Bad Bunny, for example, or he's got combat sport experience, so people view him as at least somewhat legit, even though, I maintain that he probably was paying people to take dives so he could look good in those fights, but whatever. How's that any different than pro wrestling? So he fits right in. I got no problem with that. I have more of a problem with an independent, independent self-made entrepreneur saying, yes, I'm going to sign a contract with this big company and lose some of my freedoms. That's what I don't get.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
that
definitely. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that was kind of the odd thing too. Is like, okay, how's he going to fit a full-time WWE job in his schedule?
I'm pretty sure he can. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, you can always make room for it, but that's the thing. Do you want to? Is it better to just do nothing than to be told you have to be here at a certain time at a certain place to do maybe nothing and sit around all day?
I mean, how do they film Total Divas when these girls have all these same dates and all that type of stuff for those shows? So he can work his same schedule around wrestling and all that type of stuff. I mean, Pat does his show every day. Jimmy still does his radio show every day.
Yeah, they only work one day a week, so.
Yeah, I know. I know that, but they still have to travel. They still have to fly, and they still have to make, a day or two. They still have to leave a day or two ahead of time and all that type of stuff for their gigs and things like that. So they're still traveling and stuff like that involved. But I digress. He's just as over, or he's not even over, because the chat's not even talking about him. They're talking about Liv crying. They're talking about other things. They're talking about my beard. Canada Spaceman wants to sleep in my beard. He just wants to curl up and go to sleep. So I think it's a sign, Vet. I think it's a sign that we need to jump into this Impact Wrestling review and just jump right into the show, just like we did at Impact Wrestling, where we just jumped straight into this X Division match, where everyone got a jobber entrance, and they were just playing Trey Miguel's music there at the end. I was very confused, Vet. Like Impact Wrestling, if you're listening, how am I supposed to know who's going to win the match when you don't even give anyone, like everyone gets the jobber entrance, right? Now, I had a feeling that because they were still playing Trey Miguel's music, even though everyone was in the ring, like when they started the match and everything, I was like, oh, maybe Trey's going to go over here. But I feel like we've had Trey a lot in this title picture. But alas, the music was foreboding and foreshadowing, because Trey Miguel goes over in this first match and gets his title shot at the next night at Against All Odds against Speedball Mike Bailey. Yeah.
Well, you already skipped over a lot of stuff because they didn't just open on this.
I know.
They had a recap to start the thing, and they actually included new footage in the recap, as they sometimes do, which is the one reason to... That's the difference between the WWE and Impact. WWE is going to show you a recap of some shit that you already saw and you're tired of seeing, because they already recapped it too. But this, they sneak in new stuff with the recap. So this one includes Scott D'Amore saying that the Briscoes are out and they're not coming back, and Good Brothers and James Storm need new partners. So there's your story thread. And then they go on and they try to recruit PCO in a hallway with one green light shining on or through a doorway. It was kind of hard to tell, but it was there. And then, so they're trying to get PCO, and then Vinny says,
Can I reenact this part?
Okay.
Hey, man. PCO's not... Nah, man. We're not joining your club, man. Like, me and PCO, man, we're here for Honor No More, man. Come on, man. Come on, PCO. We're going out. We'll see you guys in the ring, man. Hey, man.
Yeah, that was it. That was basically exactly what happened. I just said, Vinny says wrestling words at them because it was a very wrestling promo way of telling these guys to fuck up. But,
Shoot, man. We're not doing this, man.
Yeah. So there's that.
I love this match.
Right. So yeah, like you said, all these guys are jobbers, so we don't know who's gonna win, and we have a hint that it'll be Trey Miguel, but
and Burt Macklin's just thrown in there.
Hey, just a Burt Macklin, just here.
Just a random Burt Macklin, like.
Yeah. Why
like
not?
we started you out in the X division, so after your run at the world title, we're just gonna throw you back where you started at the bottom in the X division. That's where all the guys go that we don't have anything for. We just throw them in the X division. You can't join Bullet Club. You either join Bullet Club, the VBD, or any of these other factions that we have, or you're just in the X division. I feel like that's all Scott has for people right now.
Could be. Well, Brandon, what do you think of the match here? This fatal 4-way. It's a Miguel, Laredo Kid, Burt, and Chris Bay.
Well, as you can see, if my name is called Tale of Two X Divisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of interesting the way they kind of bookended the show with two X Division matches. They started off with an X Division match done wrong and ended the show with an X Division match done right. I completely tuned out of this match. It was basically just spot after spot after spot after spot. I mean, it did not at all look like any of these guys were trying to win. I think there were counted less pinfall attempts than participants in the match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the object is to win, not put on a choreographed performance.
That's good advice. Speaking of spot after spot, my favorite one was from Burt, actually, where he takes a Rana from Trey off the apron to the floor, and he can't decide what kind of bump to take, so in the midair, he decides head first into the concrete is best. So he's lucky to be walking right now. Yeah, it turns out that, to no one's surprise, it is Trey who gets the win over Chris Bay, who you may have seen on social media this past week that he made some sort of a self-pitying tweet about,
His background, how he does the hey guys, I'm sorry I can't spray paint properly.
No, Chris Bay made a tweet.
I'm sorry. I have PTSD
right.
over which.
Well, we didn't get to see that here. So you should be all right for right now because he got no entrance.
Well, this is a shameless plug for the A show, as we'll have Reiki Master Jimmy back on, and he's going to help us deal with PTSD. So maybe he can help me with this Trey Miguel thing I have going.
Well, he really needs to help Burt Macklin because goddamn. If he didn't have PTSD from his time in the service, then he's going to have it from that fucking header into the concrete.
Sure, Big E's doing one of these.
Yeah. Back to Chris Bay. So he made a tweet. I don't remember word for word exactly what the tweet was, but it was something like, is it worth it when you've given up so many things in your life just to not be where you wanted to be when whatever he said. And I was just looking at this like, is he like on some sort of a long ass career that I'm not aware of? Because he doesn't seem that old. And I looked it up, and he made his debut in 2017. So it's like, okay, it's only been 5 years, man. You've
been an X Division champion. You're in the Bullet Club.
Yeah, you're in the Bullet Club, and then and you also look exactly like Kofi Kingston, and you're doing nothing to change that. So like, if part of your journey is you wanted to get signed by the WWE or something, like maybe try to look different than one of the guys that's there that has a long tenure, that you look exactly like. Because you don't have to look exactly like him. I'm not saying he looks like him because they're both black guys or they're facially similar. I'm saying he puts his hair up in the side ponytails and he has the same style ring gear. So just, think about that if that's the case. Or if not, or maybe he's tweeting for a friend. That's also possible. Maybe he's asking for a friend. Maybe he's not really referring to himself. I don't know. I like Chris Bay enough. He's fine. So I'm not going to bury him. But I will say it's a little early to be doing the whole, did I sacrifice all this stuff for nothing thing? When you're still in your 20s and shit. So that's that. And then...
Bet, did you steal that shirt from Mr. McMahon when you were one of Taker's Druids?
Yeah, pal.
No, this is my shirt.
Well, it's your shirt now because possession's 9/10 of the law. So
it's always been my shirt.
Well, I mean, you're like, yep, that's my shirt. So yeah, I can understand. But was it once Mr. McMahon's shirt?
Sadly, no.
He's gonna no sell it till the day he dies, ladies and gentlemen. We'll never know the truth.
I said no. I said straight up no.
Know the truth, ladies. Unsolved mysteries.
I will tell you this: if I was in a position to steal Vince McMahon's shirt in front of him, I'd do it. What's he gonna do? He's not gonna do nothing to me.
I'm gonna get Austin Theory on you.
Who? I never heard of that person.
I don't know who that is.
All right. You just mean Theory. I was confused because you threw an Austin in there. That's so weird. Like, who has two names anymore?
T-Bar.
That's a hyphenated name. That's technically one. So we get a Raven vignette next. And my notes on this Raven vignette, which coming from a fan of, I guess I would consider myself a Raven fan if I had to choose between being a fan and not being a fan. But my only notes on this vignette is, well, this is fucking terrible. Like, this is one of the worst produced things that I've ever seen involving Raven. So, yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah. Could have been better. Could have been way better.
Colin?
This was horrible, Vet. Like, I talked about it last week. Like, he's like, oh, it's a fun house, and it's da-da-da-da, and it's Clockwork Orange. Again, you're glorifying a movie.
All right. We don't have to go into the whole spiel about Clockwork Orange. We know what they're
serial
talking about. Try to
rapists.
focus on Raven.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he's like, oh, and it's just like, no, it's not. Like, unless there's gonna be cod pieces and white hats and canes and droogs, I'm not down for this Funhouse Clockwork Orange match. I just feel like it's like now Raven's just throwing words against a wall. Like did he get the manatees that help write Family Guy episodes? Did he get them to help him like come up with a name for this match? And the manatees just happened to put like Clockwork Funhouse together, and he was like, "That's what we're gonna do, the Clockwork Orange Funhouse match."
Probably. As Buckshot Kid points out, that was fun. Sounded like a fuck up, and they kept it in. Like, Raven just doesn't care. He doesn't care about wrestling. He's very open about that. Like, this is not like a hot take or an opinion from me. Like, if you've ever listened to the Raven Effect, he does not want to talk about wrestling. He does not care about wrestling. They probably asked him to do this, and he was just like, sure. And then he's going to come in and just take his laissez-faire approach to this as he does to everything and just not care, which we'll get to when we talk about the actual match and the actual commentary. But
well, so there was one, I was listening to K100 the other day, and they were talking about Raven, and they said that Raven does best when he's not reading something that's scripted out. That he does best when he like they were talking about they were talking
heard the
about,
Raven Effect?
No. They were talking about more so like in-ring work. So in my head, maybe I'm thinking like, all right, well maybe he's better at just kind of coming up off the top of the head with like his promos, but they were more so talking in-ring work, like scripted matches compared to them just kind of running and making it up in the ring. Raven was better
I'm
at
quite sure
improvising
Raven
that.
scripted all of his own promos. But
No, I get
scripting
that,
your
but
own promos is different than reading somebody else's.
This was just terrible.
Yes, it's terrible. And it's because he doesn't care. All that came from a time when he did care about wrestling because he was doing it to put food on the table. Now he doesn't do that,
You know
and he doesn't care.
You know what would have made this better?
What?
Stevie Stevie and Blue Meanie standing behind him, and Stevie in the shorts and the cut off crop top T-shirt.
Well, that makes everything better.
Then it would have been more Clockwork Orange. He'd have had his drookies with him.
All right, Brandon,
Ooh,
do you
how
agree this vignette was the shits?
Yes.
All right.
But I like to counter Colin's idea with how about Dr. Stevie?
Ooh. Yeah, well, somebody needs therapy.
Somebody just got shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
they're
Someone
getting
needs a
shot
real
again.
doctor and
Somebody needs a doctor now. Someone call the
Yeah.
doctor.
All right. So no, it's still just a harmless.
They're
sparkly
firing blanks.
explosions.
It's okay, guys. It's just blank.
Well, anyway, influences on commentary for Giselle versus Rosemary. Giselle wins. I don't have any further notes. Would anyone like to add anything?
Brendan?
Shaw's. I thought that's her best match so far. I thought it was interesting that commentary made mention of Shaw making news over the weekend. Of course, I don't know why you'd say that and not get into what that news is.
I know why.
Oh, I do too. I thought though that it went too long. I mean, we knew where this was going. You didn't really need to take it as long as it did to get into the obvious finish. Although I like the idea of the influence interfering. Although why didn't Taya interfere or show up to make the save? Although it looked like she was on the ground. I guess I must have missed her getting taken out earlier.
She got blindsided by Tennille.
I
Even
must
though
have
on
missed that.
commentary they were like, Taya watching Madison over here, like she just lost sight of Tennille too. Like she only has one set of eyes. Like I've got to watch just this one person, and then Tennille just snuck up behind her and took her out.
That's right. I must have. That was weird. I guess I missed that somehow.
Yeah, but it would, then they're gonna need. It looks like the influence is gonna allow Giselle into the ranks until they turn against each other, which inevitably happens because it's professional wrestling. But after the match, we go backstage, and we've got Rosemary and Taya, and Rosemary's digging through a bag.
Not yet.
Not yet. I thought that was
first we get
happening right
Mickey.
after.
First
Oh,
we
that's
get
right,
Mickey
the
James with Gia.
Mickey and Gia.
Right, Mickey
With
and
no
Gia's
music
spot.
underneath. Interrupted by Chelsea. This is all predictive
interruption.
text on my phone. I didn't have to type any of this. I just hit the words as they come up.
You typed in backstage with Gia, and then
Well,
interruption just
I
comes
put
next.
Mickey, and then I type a W, and then it knows Gia's next, and then it knows that all the rest. So it just doesn't know who they're interrupted by. That's where I have to type in. But yeah, it was interrupted by Chelsea, and Deanna, and then Mia made the save there on that little backstage thing. So there you go, a Chelsea appearance.
Brandon. Chelsea appearance.
Why? I thought it was a nice touch. They actually came out like dressed nice, so that you weren't expecting the brawl.
Oh,
Like that's a nice little touch. Like they weren't scheduled to wrestle, so they weren't in ring gear. But fights made it look more spontaneous. I like that.
yeah. More little details like that they get, and then other big things they miss sometimes. So it makes me wonder if like different people are in charge of a lot of different stuff, or if there's not like one big overseer here.
Or maybe if like a vet like Mickey's like notices stuff like that and say, hey, what if we did this? And oh yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Now we're talking about Rosemary, who summons James Mitchell to a pink hallway, and tells him to tell Havoc all hands on deck. I'm not
Get
going
your
to put
ass
over
back
the
here.
I'm not going to put over the perverted shit that James Mitchell is saying. It's gross. The idea of him ever having sex with anyone or anything is gross. I'm tired of hearing about it. I know that's his gimmick, but it's gross, and I don't need it on
It was a
television.
siren and a demon. I think they're not humans.
You
okay.
can read that
No,
as two fat broads. It was two fat broads. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was gross.
A fat siren and what was the other thing?
I always enjoy anytime James Mitchell appears on screen.
Ugh.
It was fun. It was fun, Bit.
All right, sure. All right, next is Savannah Evans versus Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace wins, as we knew that she would. This is probably one of the first significant singles losses for Savannah Evans I can think of. If you guys can remember another one, then go ahead and let me know. But this is really just part of that weird thing that Tasha said about, when I was making the point about how a heel is challenging the champion and trying to make them jump through hoops. It's like, excuse me, you're the challenger. You don't get to make champions jump through hoops as a heel challenger. Anyways, this whole thing's stupid. So
Yeah,
It's like a villain that's like, you've got the cure to my disease. Now I'm gonna beat my henchman before you can beat me.
yeah. What leverage do you have to make any kind of demands?
right.
Be
Which
like,
would
yeah,
be-
no, I've got the cure. Let me just go ahead and pop that open.
Yeah, well, even that would be funny as long as you came in with somebody like Scott D'Amore saying, if Scott D'Amore could do the 9 days for something, you don't even make the matches, I make the matches.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
And there you
9 days from tonight.
go. So yeah, no notes on the match for me. Anybody else?
I thought it was interesting that they had like this much like women's content, this large of a block of the show, like 2 women's matches back to back, 2 women's like the 2 interview pieces, then the thing with Taya, Rosemary, and Mitchell. Now the next second match. But with Evans, I think her aura is pretty much gone at this point. And also, like going into the pay-per-view, why did Grace need to go over clean? We could have had the 2 heels out there, get heat going into the show, make her look vulnerable. Might see a title change.
All excellent points. I have no idea why they weren't addressed. You don't have to beat. Like, I wouldn't beat Savannah Evans. I'd just have some sort of a DQ.
Yeah.
No one cares. It's the middle of a random Impact. Why do you care?
Go an easy fuck finish. You got 2 heels out there, just not too hard to do.
Right. Now, there's some people I would beat clean, but, not here. Apparently, Joe Doring was a big deal in All Japan, according to this package they showed us. It's too bad that All Japan's not a big deal, because if they were, Joe Doring wouldn't be. But anyway, we get Josh Alexander with Gia and music underneath in front of, or no music underneath. Yes. No, there was music underneath. That's why I wrote that. It wasn't a typo. They were playing music under this interview. They're sitting there and she's talking and there's music and they're in front of this white wall with red and blue lights on it. It looks like they're fucking doing an interview in front of a bomb popsicle, original flavor. And he just basically says some shit like, I'm going to win. I don't know. Like, I wasn't really listening. I was just too stunned by the dumbness of how the wall sounds or the wall looked and the music. Anybody have any comments on this?
Nah, just your basic run-of-the-mill, tough challenge. I'm going to overcome it. Babyface champion promo.
Okay. Next we have the Good Brothers versus PCO and Vinny. This is actually a tag team championship match, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then the brothers retain, but then there's a beatdown afterwards. Of course, why wouldn't it, Hunter No More get beat in a match and then immediately jump in and just start beating everybody up again? Another instance of like, well, why wouldn't you just do this from the start? Why do we have to sit there and watch a match? Like this is really a real thing. And then Heath and Chris Harris come in with dildos. And then they beat Honor No More off with the dildos.
Heath was in that ring doing what he does best, Vet.
Swinging a dildo?
He was laying pipe.
He got kids, and that's
Got
why.
kids.
He's got kids. He's got kids. So Chris Harris, now having broken his promise to stay out of action, we knew that wasn't going to last. After some mild convincing and a heartfelt,
Hell yeah, just drink a beer.
Yeah, there's he joins the team. Chris Harris joins the team for Against All Odds, and there's some weak ass looking purple and green light on the wall to really accent this emotional moment. You got the Riddler's colors on the wall there.
Vet, did you comment on the color of the wall behind Taya and Rosemary?
Yep.
It's like
was-
this
it
weird,
was pink.
like, pink with the blue down the sides. Like it was so weird.
Actually, I had a picture I was supposed to send to you, and I didn't. Where should I send it to you?
Email it to email it. To me.
Email? Use
Yeah.
the email? Okay.
Yeah, because then I can just pull it and save it real quick.
All right. So, anyways, let's see. What do we have next? Okay. Ace Austin versus Alex Zane, the grudge match. You know, he turned on his friend in Japan, and now they're finally getting. They didn't settle anything in the fucking Ultimate X match at Slammiversary. And Ace Austin doesn't seem at all concerned about losing the championship. So he's here in this match with Alex Zane. So go ahead and tell me what you think of that while I email this picture.
I notice Impact seems to be ground zero for wrestling's, like the rest of wrestling storylines. Like they seem to converge there for some reason. Like New Japan, AEW, ROH, MLW, like they all seem to carry over there.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah, I
probably
noticed
just
the same thing.
Probably because they need the help. And they're like, yeah, we'll work with you guys. We'll do stuff. Whatever.
I like though now that they because during this little segment they teased Chris Bay and Ace Austin as like they're tagging against somebody next week. I forgot who it was, but it's already like they're the Bullet Club tag team already here in America as well. Bay and Austin are gonna be put together.
Yeah, they're on the pay-per-view.
And if all of Alex Zane's moves are named after food, why is his gimmick not him coming out in a food truck?
What, you think he is Steve Austin in 1998? They can't afford a food truck for Alex Zane. He's not even officially signed to Impact.
Can he get like Curry Man and food items to come out with them?
There you go.
No, you know why? Because everything is revolved around Taco Bell, and Taco Bell refused to sponsor this dude.
Or maybe have Jeff Jarrett in there throwing tortillas out.
There you go.
Ha ha!
Are those over tortillas?
Definitely over tortillas.
Yeah, there you go. He pushes out a
Steve
hot
Richards-
dog cart.
Steve
There you
Richards can't have one. He doesn't just like any food. He likes Taco Bell. Everything's named after, you know.
Well, then he has got
I mean,
a taco
doesn't
cart.
he kind of look a little like the Swedish Chef a little bit?
A little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. So, I don't know.
Hot dogs. Speaking of hot dogs, we didn't talk about this. Joey Chestnut, the person running up on stage, and Joey Chestnut slamming like rear naked choking the person and then slamming them on the ground, and then proceeding to eat 63 hot dogs to win the Nathan's hot dog eating championship. Insane. WWE needs to sign this man tomorrow. Have a hot dog eating contest on SmackDown and have Tozawa send out ninjas and Joey Chestnut just beat the shit out of ninjas and eat hot dogs in the middle of the fucking ring just for like 10-15 minutes. It'd be fucking hilarious and people would watch that shit. And it's relevant.
Well, if you think Joey Chestnut would get body shamed the same way Adam Cole does?
No. He would eat Adam Cole under the table. Baby.
Well, he definitely would. Yeah. Well, I mean, you work up an appetite choking guys out, so that's probably what helped him win the thing. Did you get the picture, Colin?
Let me see. Did I get that thing you sent me? Yes, I did.
All right.
Hang on. Let me download. All
right.
I feel like I'm going in the portal. It looks like a portal. This picture that you have here, the background. Their background looks portalish. That's why I thought the background was part of their gimmick fit. Like that's what this background caught my eye more than any of the other backgrounds that we've seen from Impact, because I felt like this was part of the gimmick of Rosemary and them back here. This one.
Yeah. Well, it's just a pink light.
Yeah, but there's like the blue here.
Just like all
too,
their
right?
lights. That's all their lights.
But there's the
Whatever. This fucking sucks. I'm not a fan of summoning. You know, like this whole thing. God damn it.
Look how surprised I am.
But whatever.
At least Taya's outfit saved it.
Yeah, look at oh my god.
I guess. Yeah. There you go. I meant to send you another picture last week, but I forgot. I'll continue to take pictures of their shitty lighting just in case the people
And forget to
don't really quite get what I'm trying to say here with this shitty, stupid ass little tiny floodlights that they put on the floor. But anyways, the main event, as was already alluded to, a X Division match done right, I guess. I wouldn't know because it's Frankie Kazarian versus Sabin, and my note is I have 2 notes on this match.
Why?
Well, the first note is I'm not watching 20 minutes of this, and the second note is who the fuck do you think won this match? It's Chris Sabin versus anyone. What is the point?
He lost the first one? Or no, wait, what is it? A no contest? Did it get interrupted?
Because Honor No More, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, Chris. God damn it. They had
Well, and
Chris
also,
Sabin
too,
go
he's
over.
their guy and Frankie's AEW.
Yeah, I know. I get that, but still.
Even
Frankie.
still.
Frankie.
So that's even more reason not to watch it. But anyway,
You had him go over your former champion Moose. Why? Why did you have him go over?
yeah. So, you know, we've already covered this road many times. But Brandon, you like this at least in terms of compared to other X Division matches we saw earlier. So why don't you elaborate on that for the people?
It did definitely feel like a throwback to the old, like, original X Division matches of, like, the first couple of years of TNA. Like, when it was its own, like... It felt like it was at least grounded in psychology and selling, and moves were being done for a reason. It looked like the guys were trying to actually win. It definitely felt to me like it looked like the other guy was trying to beat the other one. It seemed like they're trying to at least elicit a real emotion of trying to win the match instead of just like trading moves, trading spots. Okay, one of us goes over. And I did like them having the added touch of his wife Tracy's son out there. Puts that little emotional thing of theirs, like, okay, you kind of want to see, you know, that little emotional tug of you want to see Frankie win for his family.
And then that evil heel Chris Sabin ruins it. He ruins your dreams of seeing Frankie Kazarian wins for his family by just going over hard like he always does. Straight up in the middle with his finish. Fuck you, Frankie Kazarian. Get the fuck out of here and get the fuck back to AEW.
I'm the
bitch.
Goldberg of Impact Wrestling, not
Gold-
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, little bald ass bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
That's one of the things that
And
AEW
Colin, cut the shit. Anyway.
That's something AEW is doing that I think they're doing right is with how they're handling the baddies.
Oh, you mean how they just took Jade's mortal enemies and decided, oh yeah, you're friends now. It was great. So that was our go home episode of Impact Wrestling. And now we're just going to go straight into Against All Odds. One of those mid-level pay-per-views that is just there to be like, hey, give us money. This feed that I watched actually had the countdown show included, unlike the Slamversary one. So I never saw Shark Boy win that Battle Royal or whatever.
I'll find
But
it for you and send it to you so you can watch it.
I will never watch it. Now we
Oh, much like Big Ray won't ever watch
yes, the
Jay White. Okay.
yeah. So we get Laredo Kid versus Black Taurus here in this match. On the, look, I kind of paid attention to this enough to know that these guys busted their ass and the crowd was into it. That's what I know. Taurus went over. So once again, Laredo Kid, I don't think has ever won a match on Impact Television of any kind. Unless it was on BTI, but that's not technically Impact Television. Technically, Impact barely has television, if you consider Access a TV station. So
You could have been professional wrestling bingoing had you caught the pay-per-view, Lizbeth.
right. I definitely commented on her bingo tweets saying, oh, SmackDown must be on.
E7.
Because, side note, this was on a Friday, which it's normally on a Saturday. But 2 pay-per-views are on a Saturday this Saturday. It was Money in the Bank and UFC 276. So everybody's having pay-per-views on Saturday. What was going on Sunday that nobody wanted to have a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, wouldn't that make the most sense to put it on that day?
Right. It's like if you're gonna move your pay-per-view from Saturday because you're going to get crushed by Money in the Bank and UFC, then why not Sunday? I have no idea.
I mean, it's not like you're going over to Jeddah or anything.
It would have been the biggest against all odds ever.
Against all odds.
Against all odds. Yeah, so anyway, that was that. So Taurus wins. Nice match with those guys. They worked hard, and everybody was up. Combat match for the Digital Media Championship. You like a good pun, don't you, Brandon? I can just think you can appreciate those. So this is, of course, Brian Myers versus Rich Swann. Brian Myers has the championship. Rich Swann is the champion, but not anymore, because motherfucking Brian Myers with the roster cut to take the Digital Media Championship. This match it's technically a hardcore match, but all it really is a bunch of keyboards. They just hit each other with computer keyboards. That's really like the only foreign
Is it really
object
a .com match if somebody doesn't get hit with the pets.com sock puppet? They don't bring out like the little dog with the microphone and they just hit somebody over the head with it.
Not a bad question, but we didn't get that here.
Why not have the matches take place in the internet, like that episode of Chappelle's Show?
Well, yeah, I mean, they like doing bullshit like the
Clockwork Orange Funhouse match. Is that?
Well, I wasn't even gonna say that. I was talking about Rosemary with the other dimensions and stuff. You know, it's like, come on, let's see how creative you really are.
Like, for example, like whoever's the to do his catfishing spot.
Right. Something.
Frank Pickles Barrel Ass has very pertinent question.
Yeah.
Is Impact the one federation that GCW laughs at?
Another excellent question from Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass.
That's why you're the Hammy Award winning fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think either one of them are positioned to laugh at each other, but it might be. GCW might be laughing at Impact. So yeah. Well, we're moving on to the main card, and now we get that match you talked about, where it's Ace Austin and Chris Bay versus Motor City Machine Guns. My notes are, have these guys even heard of a tag? And the other note is, guess who wins?
Who?
Motor City Machine Guns.
Holy shit! Can you believe the old guys beat the up-and-comers? Maybe this is why Chris Bay tweeted. Yeah, fuck the Bullet Club. Who cares about their new heat? Who cares about the heat of a new member? And, let's put over the Machine Guns. Well, it's Chris Sabin. What do you expect? You didn't think. Maybe if it was Alex Shelley or someone else, but come on, Chris Sabin. You ain't getting out of there beating Chris Sabin. You serious? So, yeah, that was that. Any thoughts? No thoughts?
Dumb.
All right. That's a good thought. It's dumb. Team Random with Gia and no music underneath. My notes here are the Bullet Club heels or fucking not? Because you got the Good Brothers coming in here like giving people pep talks and just being nice. And then and why don't they have anything to say about the fucking loss just now from their teammates? You got nothing to say about that? You guys just got jobbed by these fucking Motor City Machine Guns and you're not going to say nothing about that?
I think the Good Brothers have turned face and heel in the span of 12 months more than the Big Show has his entire career.
I can't disagree. And unlike the Big Show, though, there are no uses for the Good Brothers, so it's not that big of a tragedy.
Hey, we need rest spots in a match. We need chin locks. You behave.
Not gonna behave. Next is Mickey James and Mia Yim versus Chelsea Green and Deanna
Main
Barrasso.
roster.
There you go. We got some entrance music mashups for this tag team match, so they're putting in effort in all the right places. Look, this match was it was a match, right? But I do have a note from watching it, and this is a real note. So this is my one actual applicable knowledge tip of the day for any aspiring wrestlers that just may happen to be listening to Impact, or if it's Impact wrestlers listening themselves. Anybody wants to know. if the heels are going over in a match that's less than 20 minutes long, you don't need a double set of heat. Now, if that doesn't sound like English to anybody that's listening, let me explain. The matches have a usual basic format of, you know, a little bit of whatever to start, shine the babies, cut the babies off, get some heat, hot tag, come back, and then either, you know, a dip and then the baby faces win, or slip on a banana peel, heels go over, whatever. That's your basic structure for a match. Anybody can, and I know I just said a bunch of other foreign language terms in that thing, so I'm not really explaining it right. But what I'm getting to is, if you know the end from the beginning, which you always do in pro wrestling, then you work backwards to create your match from that. So the idea of subverting expectations is, unless it's something specific like a squash where somebody takes 100% of the match, the idea being you want it to be in somewhat of a doubt. So how do you create the doubt? If the heels are going over, you want them to just get battered around by the baby faces the entire time, and give the people, like, get them cheering for the baby face and give them something to be like, oh, they got this. It's easy, right? There's no way they're going to lose. They've just been beating these guys' ass for however long. Well, you don't do it the other way where the heels get heat, take the whole match, and then the baby faces make a miraculous comeback at the end. You don't do that by the heels taking the whole match and then winning at the end. That's it's just not how it works. It's also not even polite. You want to at least give, like, the favor of them letting you win, because this is all, nobody's really winning anything, so everybody's letting you win when you win. To pay back that favor, you give them more in the match, right? So that did not happen here. It was just all heels, and they do 2 sets of heat. Which gives Mickie James a comeback, and it gives Mia Yim a comeback. They both get a hot tag at some point. But if the match isn't that long, if the match isn't that long, you don't need to get 2 comebacks. You know, the reason that you would do 2 comebacks is to give both baby faces a shine in a long match, because the comeback gives them a bunch of offense at once. So if the match is shorter, then you spend the whole time, the baby faces shine is double teaming the heels. Like you tag your partner in, they do they slam the heel, then you tag the other person back in, they slam the heel, then you tag your partner, and then you both slam the heel, and the heel comically sells like, ow, my fucking back, ow, ow, and then they run to their corner, they tag their partner, the partner gets double hip tossed or whatever, and everybody's like, yeah, haha, you guys suck, you're getting beat up by Mickie James and Mia Yim, like, that's the psychology of it. You have fun with that. Then you get a cut off. You cut them off finally. Then you get a little retribution on them. It's like, oh, you want to body slam people? Then you both body slam them. You know what I mean? Maybe you have one of them distract the ref and you body slam them onto, like, something outside, like, so it's a body slam plus. Like, you body slam me, now I'm going to give you a fucking extra body slam. I'm going to slam you on a table. I'm going to slam you on something else. You know what I mean? The heels get their heat that way. That lasts for a brief period of time. One of the babyface gets a comeback. Boom, boom, boom. Heels, they go over at the end. Seems simple, but and there was enough brain power in this match that they should have known that. But a match where the heels take the whole thing and then go over is just, for what? You make Mickie James and Mia Yim look bad. Mia Yim just got there. Mickie James a legend. I mean,
kind of buried him.
Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? So. That's my thought on that. Sorry if it took a while. Next we get... any thoughts on the match? Any other thoughts? No thoughts? All right. Honor No More by some Purple Pipes. They're still questioning PCO, but Vinny vouches for PCO and says... Colin, what do you think he was saying in this situation?
Hey, man, he's still good, man. Like, he's programmed, man, to be a part of Honor No More, man. So, like, come on, Matt. Man, he's totally cool, man. He's cool, man. He's cool. Like, he's cool, bro. Man.
That was almost it, exactly, except one of the guys asked him, like, so you trust PCO? You would
man. Yeah, man. I would totally. Bro, you saw me last week, man.
Oh, don't turn into Heath Slater now. You were doing good there.
Sorry, bro. Hey, man.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
I was getting fired up, man. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you don't have any kids, probably. So.
No, I ain't got no kids, man. I got PCO. He's like a
Yeah.
kid, man.
It's like,
None that I know of.
He eats like a bunch of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, man, and Frankenberry. Yeah, man.
All right. Yes, excellent. That was so. If you missed the pay-per-view, then you really didn't miss it because it was just like being there.
You think I'll ever get on Master Shoot Theater as Vincent? You think Vincent would ever get to, like a meeting with Vince McMahon?
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, pal. Hey, man. It's man, pal.
It's man pal. It's like man deer, but man pal. All right. So, Trey Miguel, who is still behind on the entrance, versus Speedball here. Okay, so this. I want to say something nice today. I will say this. Keeping in mind that it's not necessarily my cup of tea. This was an exciting, hard-hitting match in the context of this modern hybrid style that guys do these days. And it's probably the show stealer, even though it's only the third match. I didn't really think at this point, after watching this, that anybody was going to do better. And I ended up being right, but I didn't know at this point. That was just my guess. So they did do a little bit of flippy stuff and dives, but not as much as you would have expected. A lot of it was like striking and submission wrestling stuff. So they branched out a little bit from what you normally see Trey Miguel do. You know, Mike Bailey looks like a karate fighter, so you expect him to do more of that. And he did some dangerous shit. He definitely landed both knees on Trey Miguel a couple of different times. Yeah, I think they did good for what they wanted to do. So I'll give this the match of the night or week for Impact. And Bailey has some new gear made, so it's not just boring plain black stuff. He's got like this sort of crushed velvet dark blue with some gold trim on it. So no one else is really doing that in wrestling right now, so he looks different. So that's good too. His mullet still sucks, but whatever. Yeah, there you go.
I'm with you. Like, I'm not a fan of this style at all, but for what it is, these guys are very good at it.
Yeah. And yeah, they just did it a little bit differently. They took the focus less off diving out of the ring and more onto the in the middle combat. The influence, which this is the Giselle and Tennille version. So the whole point of the match that we had where Giselle Shaw went over was that was part of her contract to put a hit out on somebody, and if she could do that, she could maybe team with the group. So it's paying off here. And they're taking on Taya and Rosemary, of course. Anyway, whatever about the match, but we get new champions off of a small package. And so let me get this straight. A Valkyrie and a Demon can barely beat two models that never want to fight anyway. And then they immediately get beat down. Like, they just get their ass kicked. Like, immediately. Right after. The influence just kicks their ass. Like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you, giant woman and demon woman. I'm just going to kick your ass. And then they go up the ramp. And then Masha's music hits. And Masha Slamovich hands Tennille the dreaded envelope. And my question here is, well, the influence are badasses. Why don't they just fucking kick Masha's ass right now? 3-on-1. But no, they just stand there looking scared, and Masha just makes the throat cut sign and leaves. So, what do you think? What do you think?
I think the idea, I'm starting to kind of might see what they're trying to get with the whole with Masha squashing Havoc is, okay, this is somebody that should be feared. I think that's what they're going for. Not quite 100% there yet.
Colin?
I don't know how I felt about this match.
Okay. I don't know either. So anyway, now we got Speedball doing an interview with Gia. No music underneath. He just, boringly says he'll fight anyone starting this Thursday. So look forward to that. We get the obligatory Honor No More 10-man tag, which always comes with the obligatory Honor No More loss. And then, this was the return of Chris Harris to in-ring action. He didn't really embarrass. Yeah, Wildcat. He didn't really embarrass himself, so I could say that at least.
And it's a Filipino, not Brazilian.
I think that's what he didn't know.
Who is he talking about?
I think he might be talking about
Giselle.
Giselle.
Oh man, we got some news for you, Frank.
Yeah, Frank, we got some news for
Anyway,
you. That sexy
you're not gonna like this
Brazilian/Filipino chick.
It's kind of, it says to say the news kind of hits close home to me.
Yeah.
She's not a she's a man, baby, yeah, or was a man, baby, yeah.
Well, Frank handles meat all the time, so shouldn't be an issue. Speaking of embarrassing, they played the trailer for the sponsor. They played the trailer for the sponsor movie, The Green Ghost and the Masters of the Stone. Oh man, oh man. That Impact has to take money from something like this shows how far off other wrestling promotions are. There would have been a time that this movie could have sponsored the WWE, but they moved on and they made their own movies with their own studio.
There would have been a time
Stevie
that
Richards
this
had to stand
movie
in the ring for trailers of.
would have promoted on old UFC's vet. Would have had Goldberg cutting promos on time to watch I don't even know what the movie's called, but he would be cutting promos on it while motherfuckers would be fighting.
Yeah. Coming up next. Yeah. Green Ghost and the Masters of Stone. So this movie, when you look it up, it says it came out in 2021. And it was probably made back then and was not able to be released until, again, in theaters, April. So we're like already way behind here on people. This isn't even a movie that's about to come out. It's a movie that came out and they're trying to recoup their losses because their ad budget, whatever they paid Impact to show this movie, probably cost more than the movie did to make. And has Danny Trejo in it, so there's that.
And Charlie Kirk. It's got Daredevil.
Does it really?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk's Daredevil.
No, I know he is, but he's in this movie.
Daredevil's in this movie, yes.
Daredevil the character, or
no, Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk the man?
The man, yes.
Oh, boring. So Rich Swann is with Gia and no music underneath. He said something. I didn't get to hear it, and I wasn't going to rewind it. And then it was interrupted by Raj and Shira. So I guess Rich Swann's got his next challenger lined up, even though he's not the digital media champion. He gets a challenger, and we don't hear from Brian Myers, the new champion. Fuck it. Who cares?
Do we
Why
get the finger
right?
poke of doom? And Brian Myers comes out, and Zack Ryder's like, "Hey, that's my title," and he like finger pokes him, and he like lays down, and then Ryder takes his title back.
Yes.
So what happens?
Yes. Okay. Then we're gonna replay Raven's awful promo that he did, just in case anybody missed it. Before the Kohoff match, that's how you would abbreviate Clockwork Orange House of Fun. It's a Kohoff match. So I did a little something different for this. I did a bump counter because remember last time I said Sammy took all the good shit and put Moose through it and didn't take any bumps himself. What a rib, right? So I was like, well, let's see if is it going to be any more even-handed here? So you guys tell me. Here's the bumps that Moose took. They made a table bridge between the apron and the barricade, and Moose got backdropped out of the ring into it. He took a Death Valley driver on the chain link fence piece that they had in there. He took a powerbomb through two chairs set up face to face. And he was pile driven on Legos and broken glass separately. It was two separate pile drivers. Yes, one in each pile. There was a pile driver into a pile of whatever.
Is this like did Sammy like pile drive him and then like stand up, pick him up while still in the pile driver position, and then like go over to the other pile and like pile drive him in that pile?
No,
No.
it did not happen like that. Thank goodness. All right. So, here are the bumps that Sami Callihan took in this House of Fun match.
Still cheer time.
He got hit with a gimmick beer bottle, and Moose gave him the choke bomb that he does, like when he takes a guy off the top rope and like gives him the choke bomb. And there was like a door that he laid across 2 folding chairs, so it was like about a foot off the ground. The door was just sitting like just right above the mat, and he took a choke bomb through that. And that's fucking it. So I don't know. What do you think? Was this a more even-handed affair this time? No, Moose still took all the bumps. Okay. They did the fighting spirit spot with. Now remember last time, they did that's giving calling Sami Callihan evil Hornswoggle is doing a great disservice to Hornswoggle. Okay, don't act like he wasn't over. You remember they did the fighting spirit in the last match with trash can lids? Well, this time, you know that door that Sami got powerbombed through and broke in half? They did a fighting spirit spot with the door halves. Yeah. You hit me with a half a door. Just go ahead. Give me the half a door. Come on.
I've got to go
Boom.
watch this now.
Yes. Colin has gone to see it. So in the spot, Moose takes his half of the door and breaks it completely apart on Sami. He hits him 5 times and the door just shatters into pieces or whatever, and Sami's down on one knee. And then Moose hits the ropes and Sami just clotheslines him. Fuck it. It doesn't hurt. I'm good. Clothesline. Colin's back. He watched it. What'd you think? Not a fan? He's making a face.
I've seen better.
Seen better door fighting spirits?
Half door spots on cops.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's
what you gonna do.
So here's the swerve, guys. A cameraman or whatever gets in the ring, and lo and behold, it's Burt Macklin. As Colin takes a sip of brick wall there. Burt Macklin is here, and he takes the barbed wire bat, okay? And he hits Sami Callihan with it, grabbing it by the top, of course. So now imagine, you know how everybody does the fake bat shot where they grab the top of the bat and they grab the handle and then they hit them with their knuckles, right? Everybody does that.
The Sting bat shot?
Yeah, the Sting bat shot, the Triple H sledgehammer shot, whatever you want to call it, that's what you do. You grab the top. Everybody knows that's the most effective way to use a baseball bat. Just ask everybody in Major League Baseball. Ask Aaron Judge if, how he likes to hit those homers with his hand over the top of the bat. But the funny thing is, if you remember, I just said it was a barbed wire bat. So what does Burt Macklin do? He's grabbing the top of the bat that's wrapped in barbed wire. Ow, my hand. And then still hits him with the knuckle, right? So genius. Maybe that header into the floor really did have an effect that we don't... yeah. Because look...
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to... The whole point of that barbed wire bat is, all right, you don't have to eat it. Sorry.
Right. And Sami Callihan, look, fucking... The guy's wearing a bunch of clothes. So if you hit him in the stomach with a bat, with barbed wire, he's got like his vest and his probably 2 shirts underneath. It's not even going to touch him.
It's a visual. It's a total visual.
Right. Anyway, Moose won. So there's that at least. I mean, that's the least that should have happened. But he got a spear and he won. So, yeah, this was just about as dumb as the first match they had. And I hated it. But did you guys have any further comments on this monstrosity?
Hated it.
Yeah, no snaps up.
Shame not more Raven involvement since it's his match.
Shame not more Raven.
Oh no. We got enough Raven involvement because he was on commentary, and let me tell you, if you, I don't know what you think the worst commentary spot ever in the history of pro wrestling was, but if you want to hear
on Thunder.
Nash on Thunder, oh man, okay, if you want to hear a contender, maybe a new champion, but if you want to hear a strong contender for worst commentary that's ever been done, go listen to Raven on this. Go listen to Raven in this match.
Even worse than Hoovy?
Yes. Hoovy has excuses. Hoovy never claimed to be a genius. Hoovy never put himself over. I mean, he did put himself over, but not for that. Not for commentary or being intelligent or things like that. This was just atrocious.
His commentary is the juiciest.
Huh?
I said his commentary is the juiciest.
That's right, baby. The juice is back.
Not very juicy, baby.
Not very juicy. Finally. Yeah. So this was just so bad. Raven was burying Moose on there for whatever reason, and nothing he said had any sort of like wit or punch to it. He was just, he's being his normal, real self now, disinterested in this whole thing. It's just so bad. So yeah, so we definitely did not want more Raven involvement in this by any stretch of the imagination. Next is Heath with Gia and no music underneath. He's going to cut the head off the Honor No More snake. And I really wish he'd cut the head off whoever set up this blue light in the background, because god damn it, they're still fucking around with these lights. And I'm relatively taking it easy on them, but I told you, if you didn't get rid of these by Slammiversary, we're going to have a problem. Yeah. So he's pretty pissed. He's fired up in this promo. He's gonna do something about Honor No More. I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know what else he could do. I mean, if Scott D'Amore's not just gonna fire him for being uncompetitive and losing every match, then I don't know what else more. What more can you really do? They don't win any matches. Honor No More does not win any matches. That's not an effective way to get a faction over, man. You imagine if Hogan showed up at Bash at the Beach as the third man, and then fucking Sting beat him. There goes 2 years of stories down the drain that you had planned. You know what I mean? Like, is it? I mean,
once they got the contract though, Vet, then we should have known.
Right. It's just
right, like they performed well enough to get the contract, and now they're like, we got the contract. Let's just hang out and lose.
Right. Yes. It's just like an NFL athlete.
They're the job squad now.
Okay. Now we get the Knockouts title match. So kind of building on what I was mentioning earlier about Ace Austin, Tasha loses her title in a multi-person match and gets a rematch here. But Ace gets no such rematch. He doesn't even talk about it. He doesn't even say like, "Hey, my belt," or
he got an even better prize. He got in the Bullet Club.
Yep. Yeah, except for one thing, Colin. He was the champion when he joined the Bullet Club. So
it's the Bullet Club.
Yeah, that's better than any championship. That's the best thing that can happen in your career. Just ask Chris Bay. So he doesn't even get an interview, comment, promo, nothing. Ace Austin, nothing. Anyway, Jordan Grace hits the Grace Driver for the win. Did anybody care about this? I didn't. I sure didn't.
It's a Jordan Grace match.
Right. Which, on the other hand, it is a Tasha Steelz match, but...
Yeah, but Jordan Grace is on the outside of the ring.
I thought Tasha was doing a decent enough job with the belt. I thought she was doing more with the belt.
Tasha was doing great.
Way too soon. Way too soon.
Same with Ace Austin. Too soon.
Too soon. What was the point? What does Mike Bailey need it for?
Well, we know why Ace was the champion over there, so they could have that Impact champion over in the Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah. But don't you want to carry that on and make it mean anything afterwards? I mean, Mike Bailey and Trey Miguel could have the exact same match whether there's a belt involved or not. Yeah, it was third on the card. That's not even a championship placement on a card. So nothing about this makes any fucking sense.
Hey, man. Hey, WWE World Titles have opened WrestleManias, man. It doesn't matter where your slot's at on the card, man.
Hey, man.
Sorry, I don't know why Vincent's like.
Yeah,
coming
what
on
is his?
here.
Shut up, Vincent, you loser. You never won anything, and your kid is a giant old fat undead baby.
Hey, man, he's special, man. He's got that Benjamin Button, man.
And he's French.
And he's
Yeah,
French,
French.
man.
Yeah, not even really fully French. French Canadian.
That's even worse.
Yeah, you're not even a real thing. You're just like half a thing.
Hey, man.
He's not human.
So the main event is Josh Alexander versus Joe Doring. I literally was falling asleep during this. So the unbeaten streak is over for Joe Doring. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. At least they made it, the unbeaten streak means something if you get beat by the Impact champion and nobody else. Which makes me wonder, like, well, why didn't they just have Chris Sabin beat Joe Doring like a couple weeks ago? Just to get out of the way, like before the big match and everything. Just have Chris Sabin beat him. That's usually what he does, right? Just beats people, so ruins everything. Yeah, this wasn't like a legit, real pay-per-view. It's just one of those filler pay-per-views, but it fucking pretty much sucked. I have to say. I didn't like anything about it. And everyone should be embarrassed, except for Miguel and Speedball. They had a nice match. Everybody else's match sucked or was boring or I didn't pay enough attention to it. Yeah, sorry. Maybe if you take the lights out of the back room, I'll watch your match. So
It's terrible.
Terrible.
Brandon, you got anything to tie up the show?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the news we discussed earlier. I'm actually glad I listened to Ben covered on the Monday Locker Room last week before getting into it and giving her his experiences. Of course, I've mentioned on the show before that I also happen to be transgender, and so with Giselle Shaw coming out, that kind of hits home a little bit. I think it's great that she has come out and hearing Ben talk about his experiences with her at Crossfire and how her journey and how it seems like this is somebody who's done like the right way. It's not demanding anything. It's like she wants to earn everything. And like, I think she's a great role model and somebody that should be, it's great to see somebody like that getting a spotlight and getting recognition like that. And somebody we need to support. And I'm happy for her.
why are you playing that music?
He's getting his theme music while he talks.
This isn't Impact.
It's a special moment. It's the
We don't
Impact
need to-
attack.
We don't need to play music under the promos. That's one of the things we got them to stop doing, except for that one with Josh Alexander this past Impact. But I think his message is strong enough. Well, and I keep saying that. Like, I keep using the pronouns and saying Brandon and all this other stuff only because Brandon has never told me any different. So I'm completely going along with, whatever Brandon is comfortable with at any given time. And if that changes, then I can easily adapt and change my language to fit that. But just in case anybody ever wonders, like, hey, wait a minute, why is this a transgender, but they keep saying him, man, guys, whatever, like, we're just going along with what what we've been given. So
I'm super flexible with that.
right. And that's another thing too. It's like, that's what we were told, and so that's what we're going by. But we certainly don't mean any offense by anything to anyone, unless explicitly stated where we mean offense, which does happen plenty of times. With the Giselle Shaw thing, like we talked about it here, I think I basically said, pretty sure that's that's a transgender woman right there. It seems pretty obvious to me, but apparently it wasn't obvious enough that she didn't need to come out and say something. So that is good, and you should be able to say something, and it shouldn't matter.
And like when Ben was talking about like the different like niches within like trans, like I also like, and she seems to be the one that wants to be very super blend and feminine. I see that's one I kind of relate a lot to, is like I see a lot of myself in her as well.
Well, on that note, any further topics or anything to conclude? Colin, what would Vinny say about this episode of Against All Odds here and Impact?
Hey, man, look, it's not PCO's fault, man.
It's true. It wasn't PCO's fault. Nothing PCO did had any bearing on the quality of these shows whatsoever, positive or negative.
Why y'all hating on PCO for, man? He ain't do nothing, man.
Well, you vouch for him, so that's the key.
Yeah, man. I totally vouch. He's cool, man. He ain't no cop, man. You got that stuff, man?
The question is, when they eventually do kick PCO out of Honor No More,
I'm going with him, man.
Yeah, they will. Will the final swerve be, oh, even you, Vincent, even you turn on PCO?
Man. I can't, man. I can't. Nah, man. I can't turn on PCO, man.
That's where the entry is going to be. Really, is where Vincent's loyalties lies.
Yes, the intrigue. Well, guess what? I don't have any sympathy for him after those shitty vignettes they did about bringing him back to life in a garage somewhere.
Hey, man, that was real electricity, man.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, pal.
You think pretty highly of yourself, don't you? Raising the dead.
Aaron Ben Shlomo coming in the last few minutes of the show here. Brandon, go ahead and put all your social media stuff over. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yep, you can find me at all the places at Miss Tia the Trans Archist, and of course, always every Monday right here at the Impact Attack. Always working the bottom square, supporting these two as always.
Bottom square.
See what that was. The bottom square supporting.
It's also still 4th
Power
of
bomb.
July.
It's like a table that Moose could get put through in a match.
No, he's the power bottom here at the Impact Attack. That's our good buddy Brandon.
All right.
Did you follow the food safety guidelines on eating properly for a bottom? Brandon, have you seen that?
Which one? The Postmates one?
Yeah, the Postmates one. Yeah, where it's eating healthy as a bottom. Have you seen this, Vet?
I'll put it to you this way: I could teach them a thing or two.
Yeah. So Postmates put out a thing, a commercial, I think it was, about like promoting eating healthy and promoting like healthy, right? So now Postmates, if you go, they have a certain section on their website where if you're a bottom, you can eat bottom healthy. So that you're healthy for your fun times, of which a bottom would need to have fun for. But I get it. No, it's dead ass serious. But I get it too, because it's raising awareness for gut health, and like that type of stuff. That diet, not only for people that take it up the poop chute, but it would help you with it coming out of the poop chute, because a lot of Americans don't eat a lot of fiber, and there's things like that in that diet that you need that are very good for you. But yes, Vet, it is a real thing.
Well, I hope it helps.
Now I'm thinking about that scene from It's Always Sunnier in the strip club talking about like twinks and bottoms and bears.
God, Dennis is so fucking... then you have your twinks. All right, Vet, let everybody know.
Am I right, buddy? Oh, he's gone.
Yes, you cannot find me on any Postmates menus or anything like that.
You can find him on Grindr.
Maybe, possibly.
Liz has her bottom diet in check here. Her power bottom diet.
Yeah, you can find me at Opinion Haver on all your social media platforms, and including a Twitch, of which I did Colin, I finally did the Retromania Wrestling play, because Chris Bay finally got released on Retromania Wrestling. So I won the 10 pounds of gold with Chris Bay, the dashing one himself, the ultimate finesser.
Who did you have to beat to win it?
The national treasure Nick Aldis, of course, in a steel cage. 2 out of 3
Did
falls
you have to
match.
beat up Stevie Richards?
Not in that one, okay. But in the story mode, in which I actually acted out, much like a Master Shoot Theater episode, I acted out every wrestler in the story mode and read all the dialogue in their voices. So if you want to go back in the Twitch archive and hear me make a fool of myself, every diverse characters from the main character of Johnny Retro to Stevie Richards, the Blue Meanie, Hollywood Nova. Who else was in it? Zack Sabre Jr., Jeff Cobb, Colt Cabana, Dave Meltzer, Bill Apter, all these people. You can hear me do impressions of those people. Twitch.tv/OpinionHaver. And what else? And speaking of Stevie Richards, don't forget every Wednesday after we do the Next Level Wrestling review.
What's this? Then let's see what Will Ospreay did. It looks bad, and he tweeted the video.
Okay, this is a part where I was talking about the Will Ospreay thing. Skip ahead. Wait, in fact, stop this. Just play it after I'm done with the plugs. Jesus.
Hang on. Well, I was getting so you could talk about it. I was just gonna play it behind you while you talk.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, hang on. Here, did you act out right here with
Probably. Just wait a second.
Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of Stevie Richards, as you can see, the cartoon Stevie there on the screen. He's got the SRF Fitness Show every Wednesday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. After we do the Next Level Wrestling review, Big Ray Hernandez and I do the Next Level Wrestling review at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. So as soon as you're done listening to us talk about NXT and cry into our hands, then you can head on over 2 hours later and check out Stevie Richards, the SRF Fitness Show. So please do that. And then what else I got going on? Nothing right now. That's good enough. You all know where I'm at.
Hey, welcome, Jacob from Australia. Thanks for stopping in the show. Let me hit you with the.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
Right. Try to acknowledge the chat. Let's see. Anything else from either of you gentlemen? Nope.
That should do her.
That should do her. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the beautifully talented April Hunter and her beautiful giant knockers. She will shake them on Twitch for you before the show is over with Reiki Master Jimmy. He's going to come teach us all about PTSD and he's going to work his Reiki magic on you. And you're going to be better. You're going to be fixed. And then Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Big Ray, Matthew Schaffer Gage, and the vet's favorite co-host on the Ridiculously Random podcast, Aiden Hernandez. He's back. We're going to be talking about top 5 video game characters. It's another one that the vet. You came on last week, vet. Did you have fun?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Come on. He always no sells that he never comes on. He always comes on and pops that famous line of his. Everybody knows which one it is. You know,
Main roster.
that one. He comes on, says it, and then leaves. You just don't play coy, vet.
Is it like I just now said it? Like is
Yeah.
that how it worked? I just said it.
Main
I did
roster.
A ventriloquist act.
You just said it again while you were talking. It's amazing. How do you do that?
You tell me.
Main roster.
You just did it without moving your lips. Holy shit, vet. You're a fucking witch or something.
Main roster.
There he goes. He did it again, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I think that's it. April does have Big Gazonga's Canada Spaceman. Hopefully
Nothing gets by Spaceman.
No, especially not those big Gazongas. Hopefully you won bingo in your professional wrestling bingo card this week. If not, there's always next week. There's like 30,000 wrestling shows every week you can watch. Right? Yeah. Okay.
At least.
For the vet, for the Tale of Two X divisions, I'm Colin Weissong, and this has been the Impact Attack on Channel Attitude and the Hami Media Group. We will see you all next week here for another edition of Impact.